Hi, this is Linda with KC Creations by Linda. I made a journal called Sage and Linen, and it's from Polka Art Studio. And I incorrectly said, go to Polka Art Studio's YouTube channel, and she has a tutorial. She doesn't. I got it mixed up. So, to correct my mistake, I'm going to do a tutorial for you. A lot of you have asked, they call it, I can't find it. So I went look, and I'm going, sure enough. So I'm going to show you how we do it. There's going to be 5 signatures, but they're all made the same. So I'm going to do one completely, and then you can just repeat the process for the other 4. You will find when you get the kit, this is the right side, this is the left side. See the white? We're going to cut that off. And in the kit, there is 5 of these and then 5 of these. See, the cutout is on the right side, this one's on the left side. And they're matching, so there's 5 of this and 5 of this. Now the way I do mine is a little bit different, I think. There is a ton of backing paper, and I just printed off a few. There's this beautiful one with books and vases, pretty flowers, and there's some more little tags with jars, all kinds of stuff. You pick out the ones you want. It does not matter, it's what you like. I'm going to make this as easy as possible. You will need to print out, choose 2 of the backing papers, print on one side, flip it over, and print on the other side. So it's double-sided. This is our base that we're going to put these pages onto. Now you need to decide, it is going to have a 1.5 inch spine. Is it going to be a pamphlet stitch? It can be. Or the way that I do something that's really quick is I do the wrap, and I wrap twine around the spine. If you want to do a pamphlet stitch, and that's totally, up to you. You don't have to follow what I do at all. This is a cracker box. Now, the spine, and this is so you can go rob the boxes in your kitchen, which is what I do constantly. The spine was originally 2.5 inches, but I only want 1.5. So I cut it down, and I always make my covers a little bit bigger than my 8.5 size page, because I want the edges to protect the pages inside. So you can see that there's just a little tiny bit. You can see it right there. Here and here. And that is just enough. And then if we scoot it up to the spine, right here, you can see that there's some here. And that just protects your pages on the inside so they won't get bent, crumpled, whatever. So, this was 2.5 inches. I only need 1.5 inch. So I cut it down. And for mine, I made it 8 3/4 inches tall. And find the correct spine here. Here we go. And it is, there we go. It's this one. I can't even tell. 5 3/4 inches wide. And you just take your box apart, cut off all the extra folds and everything it has till you get down the size that you want. Now, I have to do something about this fold because it's going to fold weird. They made the box. So what we'll do when we get to that part is I will reinforce this so it can no longer fold. If you want to do the pamphlet stitch, this is a little tin plate I made. It is 8.5 inches tall, which is the same size as our journal pages. And it is 1.5 inches wide. Because what this is going to do, it's going to lay down in our little spine right there. These little holes from the center, let's get something white here, hold on, there we go. The little holes, if you measure from the center of the hole to the center of the next hole, is 1/4 inch. And there would be 5. So you need them at the top. I measured down a 1/2 inch and made my holes. Then I halved it, which would be 4 1/4. And then again, move up a 1/2 inch and put your holes. But what we're going to do first is we're going to make our pages. So we have the page that I printed double side. And before we start, we're going to ink up the edges. When you cut into cardstock, because you started with a white piece of cardstock, you're going to see the white core. This way, if you just ink it up, and you can ink it as much as you want, as little as you want. I'm a heavy inker. And we need to do that to both sides. So we'll do this side, which is inside. And I use Vintage Photo for my inking. I believe that's what it's called. Print back out. Okay, we got this page ready. Now, I left the cutting so you can see it's really not hard. Everybody's, oh gosh, what if I make a mistake? If you make a mistake and it's not too critical, no one is going to know. But as you can see, we're going to sit and we're going to cut right along those edges. So I'll be quiet for a moment while I'm cutting so I don't get carried away. And if you will turn your paper with your left hand, if you're right-handed, under your scissors, you get a much better cut because you can guide it a lot better than moving your scissors back and forth. And they move a little bit, but not a lot. It just gives you a little bit easier to get around the edges. And if you have a teeny tiny little piece of white that you missed, when you ink it up, it's going to be gone. You're not going to be able to see it at all. You can go get you something to drink if you're getting bored. Nothing's going to happen until I finish cutting this out. And I need to set a timer here so my battery doesn't run out and I'm sitting talking to no one but myself. Which I've done many times. This Sage and Linen, I loved it. It's the first one I did of her. She has, I believe, don't quote me, I made a mistake already, but I believe there is 4. Coffee and Cream, Blush and Lace, the Sage and Linen, which we're doing. And then there is another one, I can't remember the name. I didn't make it. It's blue, sky and something. But you can just go over to her Etsy shop and look at them all. Now, if you like a hardcover, and most of people don't have chipboard, I buy it by the ton, just about. Remember, go raid the kitchen, go to the store, get you some containers so you can pour your crackers or cereal, whatever you're stealing the box, or you can make it out of chipboard. If you make it out of chipboard, it's a little bit harder because you've got to punch the holes and you're going to need something really sturdy. Okay, we've got this printed out. We need to score it in the way, you know, that it is 11 inches US. 11 inches, and I've cut this part off. So this score line, half of it would be 5.5 inches. So if I turn this and put it at 5.5 inches, that will be my center. Just score it a couple times. Okay, you get that one done. There it is. Now we'll take a right side one. And there is a lot of ephemera that comes with this set. There's pockets, there's all kinds of good stuff. I'll show it all to you. You can decide how to decorate yours. If you want to do something different than what I do, go for it. It's your journal. You do you. There's no rules on where you have to put something. Just remember, if you're ever putting a pocket, and it's a big pocket, it's going to go the 5.5 inches, you need to cut that pocket down just a little bit, because you don't want the folds of the pocket to be right on the fold line of the paper. It's too bulky and it won't fold good. Just move it off, just a smidgen, like a 32nd of an inch. 1/8 of an inch, whatever you want to do. Don't go to sleep on me, ladies. I'm working here. If you wanted to leave a border around your page, you could always resize the page on your printer, make it a little bit smaller, make it 8 1/4 instead of 8 1/2, or make it 8 inches, whatever you wanted. For example, if I put this down and we have a little border like that, you've got the little edging around it. It looks real cute. I do that sometimes. There we go. We made it. Let's find our center again. 5 1/2. And if you use a stylus, don't use the little tiny end. It can actually cut into your paper, because you want to press pretty firm. And if you don't have a scoreboard, you can use a ruler. Just like you want a flat one, not this one. This one's too wide, but just to sew, you put it on your 5 1/2 inch mark, and then just fold it. Run your hand down here and make a crease, and you can fold it over. Now we're back to inking. Inside all your little petals there. We don't need to ink the back of these because they're going to be glued down. Yell at me if I get out of screen. I work close to my body, so I'm going to try to stay out here. Fold it. Put some on our fold. one. Let's do this little guy. Fold. Okay, here we go. Okay, we can either do this one and put our pretty thing on the front, or we could do this one and our pretty thing will be on the back. Up to you, doesn't matter. Let's see, what would I want to do? Let's do this one. I think that's kind of pretty. And it's first thing you see when you open up your journal, because this would be this first signature. So what we're going to do is we're going to glue all of this down. I use Aleene's Tacky Glue, and this is a new one, so it is really giving me trouble on coming out. I may grab my ugly one that's all inked up and figure out why that one, get my messy one that I use. And it is messy. You're not supposed to see this. When we craft, or when I craft, it is a mess. I have things everywhere. But hey, it's organized mess, so I know where everything is. Anytime you're folding something over to glue, make sure you get right in that crack where it folds over, right in that fold line. That will be the part that will want to separate on you the most. So we're going to take our page, make sure if it's a print, it's right side up. It's not, you know, the vines going down. Lay it down right in the fold. Push it over. Make sure you're lined up perfectly. Come back and glue that, but right now we're going to do this one. See how good we did? A little bit off, but that's okay. We can just move it a little bit. It's a little bit off because we are working over a fold. It's not like laying two pieces of paper down on each other. We have lost some of the length just because of the tiny score line, but that's okay. It looks great. You just want to make sure this and this, top and bottom. Now on this, we don't want to glue it totally down because we're using this as a little tuck spot. Think of it like a little side band. So we're only going to glue. We don't need to glue this, just the sides. Fold it over. If you ever squish out any glue, which I do, right there, make sure that you wipe it off your paper immediately because it will shine. When it gets dry, and you're going to, oh gosh, that looks awful. Then you're hunting for something to cover it up. Now, we got our little pocket here. We open it up, and we're going to do this side, except this time we're folding it this way. Okay, because this will go like this. Here's our little fold, and here's our cover. So we're going to cover all of this. liquid glue is always the best, in my opinion, because it gives you a lot of wiggle room. You can move the page around, gives you a longer time. Fold it over, and we're going to put it right in that score line. Check our edges. Yeah, we're not over anywhere, so we can press this down. I use my hand, but you can use, some people use a bone folder, some people steal this up from the Cricut machine. Doesn't matter, whatever you use. Now we're going to take a little side here and glue these down for our other little pocket. Now we've got it all together. I'm going to take our page, got a little wrinkle going on here. Didn't get something straight. There it is, right at the bottom there. I see it. And we're going to increase it. Oh, that's what we made. Yeah. Come on, little guy, let loose a little bit. There we go. That's our first signature. That easy. Now, the decorate. Okay, sorry about that. I had to change my battery already. I need like 24-hour long batteries. Now to the fun part. We're going to decorate. I made another copy. This is totally up to you. This is the way I'm doing it. And I'm going to cut out this little bird here. I don't need all this. I'll use that on the other side maybe. Who knows? Cut it at 5.5 inches because we know that is our center. And we'll cut out our little bird. I do a lot of fussy cutting. Long ago, when I first started, I hated it. I thought, oh gosh, I can't do this. This makes me nervous. It's okay. I made it. Figure out which is his little legs here. The front ones. He's got little feet. Teeny tiny little feet. You can use smaller scissors if you want. Sometimes I do. Get the good old X-Acto knife out. And we can cut out his little part there. It's not him. Right between his legs there where you can see through. Needs to be fatter and we wouldn't have to do this. But we have a skinny bird. So work at that. Oops, I cut one of his little legs. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't fret if you do the same thing. No big deal. Let's give him a little inking up. Little legs. Yeah, I have decided that I'm going to put this pretty lace. If you can see it, it's got a real satiny sheen inside the flowers. It's very light. And I'm going to glue this right over my little bird, but I'm not going to glue all the way to this fold. We don't want anything hindering the fold, but I'm going to get as close as I possibly can. And also, I always leave a little hanging off to trim later, because if I decided that it was right and it really wasn't, I've just wasted a piece of lace. On this, when I glue down any kind of fabric, cloth, lace, I use Fabri-Tac. It's almost like rubber cement. It's clear. Kind of get an idea of where I'm going here. And my straight edge is here. I want to make sure I have it right side up. I'm going to put it right up to the edge, not over the fold. And this Fabri-Tac, it is sticky. It sticks to you, but it holds really good. You're working with fabric instead. If you use just regular glue, the fabric kind of sucks up your glue and doesn't really glue it down. Now we're going to let that dry before we trim it, but we can continue our little bird here. We can glue him down there, or we can give him a little dimension, even though I broke his leg. Get some foam tape. Cut off a little piece. See if it fits in there. Yep. A little bit hanging off right there, so we don't want any of our foam tape to show. We'll just trim off that edge. And we're going to put him right over our little bird underneath. We're going to take his teeny tiny little legs, put a little bit of glue under there, and press it down there. Now, nobody knows I decapitate his legs. Let's do something here. Here's my extra piece. This out. This is just, I'm just giving you ideas of what you can do. Like I said, you do you. If you like things more plainer, then you don't have to do this. Or something different you had rather do, that's alright too. There's no right or wrong. It's just ideas. We can do with this. We could put it on a brad and make it swing. You want to do that? Okay, before I cut any more, take this little scrap, because I want him heavier if he swings. Let's glue him down. When you do a fussy cut, I just decided to do this, but when you do a fussy cut, cut out around it very crooked, just enough to cut your picture out, and glue it down. That way you don't have to do what I'm doing and cut it out twice. So, for example, if I was cutting out these flowers, I just cut a big swatch out, like so, and glue this whole thing down. Then I'd cut around what I wanted. And I don't throw scraps away. I keep every piece there is, because I never know what I'm going to do ahead of time. That's what's fun about crafting. You don't have to have a plan. just do it as you go. And make sure that it's really pressed down, because you don't want to cut underneath and have it shorter. Scraps up there. So now we got our little thing here. We're going to take a little brad, my foam mat, ink him up, and you know, if you didn't get how I cut out and glued that down, you can always rewind and watch it again. And if you have any real trouble, you can always contact me. Okay, now we have to be careful here, because I've got, this is glued down. Get my pokey tool. And let's see, where would it be good for it to swing out? Probably right in the center. So just poke him out there. Then we need to make a mark, get him perfectly over what we just cut out there. Mark. Hold this up, because you don't want to poke through that, just our little flap here. And wherever my brad went, there it is. Put them in there. Then we're going to reach in here, inside here. Bend out his little legs. And you don't want it real tight, because you want it to swivel. Just like so. Just gives a little point of interest. Now we've got something rough under here that's going to catch our ephemera. So we're going to take a piece of masking tape. I do not recommend Scotch tape, because over time Scotch tape dries out and lets go. And I'm just covering up the little brad there, so that my ephemera doesn't catch on it and tear it. There. Now we can trim off our lace here. Come on, little guy. There you go. This just not cooperate. It's a very delicate lace. It's very light. But we got it. Now, let's see what we can do. We'll do our ephemera last. There's that buckle again in that one page. I'm sorry about this guy. I don't know why he wants to do that. Somewhere I did not lay him down straight is the problem, and I can't get him out. Of course, when I do a tutorial, it messes up. Murphy's Law and all that. You can do the same thing on this page. You can cut out, another copy. You can cut out all these little guys and put them on there, or do it with some Put it on foam tape, put it on a brad, whatever you would like. This is absolutely driving me crazy. I have to fix it. Maybe it's good I made the mistake. You can see. I'm going to take a bone folder. You need something very rounded, nothing sharp on the edge. And we're just going to lift him up a little bit, just like so. See there? Perfect. Now if I get it glued down, I don't squish it again. This little part here, no one's ever going to see that. It's inside the little pocket. But we're going to see if I can do a better job at getting it flat. There's my problem. Ha ha. Let's see if it was here. I didn't get it far enough over there. Grab that little white right there. Or maybe I'll just trim it off. No. There. Much better. Now I'm all happy again. You want to do this page? You want to do it by yourself? Like I can hear you, haha. Let's put them on there. I love little things. We'll do that one. Oh, this one's got a safety pin. We can add a safety pin. I think I'll just put those, since they're so tiny, I'll just put those on some foam dots. That way I can go ahead and cut it out, because it's not going to do anything. I don't need to back it. I'll cut out this little number here. Also, another thing, when you're cutting out something, and you're cutting and you're moving back and forth, can't get it right where you want it, just stretch out your fingers, lay your scissors on them, and that just steadies up everything. Sometimes my hands are kind of shaky, and it's really works well. All that. Now, we're going to make these little swings, so we need some backing so that they're heavier, just like we did the other. We can use this little scrap here, because you're really not going to see under it. We just want it a little bit heavier. This is what I was telling you about. Cut around it, don't cut it twice. Let's try a little bit. We'll get our little teeny tiny things here. Get our foam tape, and we're going to off a piece and then cut it in half. Ink. I just think inking adds so much. Excuse me. I'll just stick him right over the top of that. And it gives him just a little bit of 3D. Kind of raises him up. Now what do I do with my other little piece? I probably lost it like I lose everything. Do y'all see it anywhere? So not stuck to my... Aha! There you are. Let's see, are you too wide? Pretty much. So let's just trim him down a little bit. Make sure. Can't see any of the foam sticking out. Ah, jeez. And we'll glue him there. Can you see that? Kind of gives it dimension. It's not just flat. Okay, let's work on this little guy, and let me find a safety pin. That will work. I love those tiny brown ones, but they're extremely hard to use. So we'll add this. So let's just cut out a piece here and cut around what we want. Kind of goes up at an angle right there. Give it a little bit of jagged edge. I'm going to cut in just a little bit, just so that you can see that it's two separate pieces. There. Now let's see. We'll ink him first, or we start making holes. Okay, we got our safety pin. He is going this way. So we need to figure out where we can get some little holes. Line him up perfectly over it, or as close as I can get. Make some little holes under here. Little dots. Pokey tool. Two little holes, and we're going to do our best to get him laced through here. We're going to have to bend the card a little bit to get it through the hole, if I can find the hole. There. Alright, I made it. There's my little safety pin in there. We're going to make him swivel, so we need to make a little hole again. And let's see what would be good. Get it lined up. Oh, got in the center again. You don't want to get too close to the edge. Line him up. We can put a mark there. Can you hear the dog barking? That's our neighbor's. The dog is very nice, but he loves to bark. I think he barks at clouds. And we'll do this one the same way. Get it stuck through the hole. Reach in there and bend out its little legs. There we go. And find our masking tape. things. That won't snag on our paper. Okay, other little guy. All the little extras when you, so just flat paper, do the little extras, and it gives it a lot. I'd do a grunge tutorial, but we would probably spend the next year together. This one's going to be long. Anyway, I might stop it and start so y'all don't get too bored with me to do the cover. We're going to put that one right in the center of the bow. And get our little brass. Where's my pencil? Line it up. Little mark there. Fingers under there so you don't poke through the other. Sometimes I spend most of my time going, where on my desk is whatever I was working on. Bend out his little legs. Masking tape. There. And we have our little things, and they turn. And our little safety pin. Okay, what I'll do, because I really don't want y'all to get bored with me and not finish this, I'm going to decorate this page, and then we'll stop. And then I'll do a part 2, and we'll do the cover. Does that sound like a good deal? Because I don't want to bore y'all to death. Okay, I'm going to cut out those things right there. Burlap kind of looking, so kind of just make it a little jaggedy. Cut around a pretty ribbon. We might just add a ribbon to this. Yes. If I have some green satin ribbon that matches this, we'll see. We shall look. He's gonna go right here. I don't like this green part sticking up, because we're gonna make a little pocket. Yes, much better. Now let's look in my stash and see what green I have. This might work. I think I have a more olive one. All my little things. I got bright green. That's not going to work at all. I have a dark green. This one. And let's just get off enough ribbon here. Tie a bow. glue them down before we put our little bow on there. This is not a real chunky journal. And what I'll do in the description box before you start this, I'll put my video where I made it. That way you can see kind of what I did as you go along. You know what we're doing a little bit better. See what's coming up. Even though this one probably will not be identical to what I made the first time, you still get the idea. There we go. And we'll take our little bow, get our Fabri-Tac. Cute. I like it. Okay, let's do this little guy. I know you can't see exactly the line that I'm cutting on, but when you see it in person, you will. I think Polka is having, this is June 27th, 26th. I think she's still having her 70% off sale. This is Polka Art Studios on Etsy. Okay, here we go. Let's get this all inked up. I'm going to make this our little pocket like we did that one. We're just going to do another one. So another little tip is find the top. That's the part you hang on to. So you don't accidentally glue it. Put glue on it. And glue the little thing down, which I've done. Get it lined up right over our image. Press it down. Up our glue, and the next one I can cut way out here or just here. What to do. Since we got the other one right up against it, we're going to give this one little papers that are sticking out underneath the little tag. Now I'm just following along. I know that you probably can't see where the line is. When you get your set, you will, aha, that's what she was doing. You put a little bit more glue where that sticks out because nothing can go over there. Glue it down. there's our page. So, what I'll do, because you're getting bored, I'm sure, is on part 2, I'll come back and we'll do the ephemera and we'll do the cover. So, thanks for sticking with me. I know it was long so far. I apologize, but I do get involved on decorating. And I will come back with part 2. You have a good one. Bye-bye. Hi ladies, welcome back to part 2. On the first part, I showed you how to put your signature together. Remember doing all this. And I unglued that, so let's glue it back. Remember when I took it off because it was a little crooked? So we'll stick them back. There we go. And put our little safety pin there. Put our little pockets. We haven't done anything to the back yet, but we will. Let's work on our ephemera. Now for here, we've got a big space that we can stick something in, or we can stick some smaller things in. We will see what we have here. These are all the pages that come with the kit, and this is the ephemera. It is so beautiful. I just love it. Got some little tabs there. Small ones. We have some this size. Got some little doilies, some little butterflies, some larger cards. I mean, there is a ton in this kit. Here's some pockets. Some more ephemera. And some more ephemera. So, we need something big. Now, we can slide them in this way, but they're going to get hidden. Let's see if we go this way. It's kind of glued there. And when you're measuring, see what goes in. When you use liquid glue, think of wasting 1/4 of an inch of your pocket, because that's what the glue is going to take up. So I'm going to move in a little bit. Kind of hangs off here. Let's see. That one would work out good. Or, where's my other piece? I thought I had an extra. I don't. Or we could print out another piece of a journal page and slide it in there and have one big card. But let's don't get complicated. We'll do some little ones. Let's see if this guy will fit. Oh, he will. But then that would look odd with 2. We're going to do these little guys. Remember, don't cut out twice. So just cut around him. Get him loose from the paper. Then we're going to back him, and we're going to put him in just like so. So here's another one. I have to trim him off a little bit. Isn't any smaller? Nope. I think he'll fit after he's trimmed down. So that's what we'll put here. All these pages out of the way. I'm going to need some little ones, so we'll keep those on top. And I'll show you how I back. Now, you can pick, like I said, there is, let's see, 10 different pages you can choose from. You don't have to back your cards if you don't want to. That's up to you. You can just leave them white. Or you could take this entire sheet and print on the back of it with one of the backing papers, one of the 10. It's up to you. I like mine really sturdy, so I'm going to back mine, and I don't like them all the same, so I'll use 2 of my pages. And you know, even though I made part 1 and part 2, if part 1 was too long, just stop it and come back. When I get going, I just go. I don't stop. Okay, that's that one. And we'll glue this one down, make sure I got them right side up. Make sure you get right up to the edge. I'd rather wipe the glue up than for it not to be stuck down. And again, you can, use your bone folder, whatever, if it makes you more comfortable, and do it that way. My hands are usually my tools, so that's what I usually work with. And I'd usually let them dry a little bit, but keep going, we'll just go through it, and it's got some little uneven places to give it character, so it's just not a rectangle card. And I sometimes even overemphasize. I cut a little bit deeper just to give it some fun, give it a little bit more character than just a straight edge. Really make it defined. There's our back. Stick it in there. And one more to go. Be a good place. You got a pretty card on the front, do some journaling. On the back, you could glue on a picture or something that you might have. I would put that in there. There. Got our little swing here. Our little bird that sets up. Now I want to show you how I do these little guys. And I was very fortunate. She had some teeny tiny ones that I could use. So I'm going to put 2 in each. So we'll cut out 2 of these. And we'll add these. These should fit. One of those. And we need 2 more. Let's see what will fit. Let's look at this one. Oh, this is perfect. That one. And let's find a little shorter one. One of those. It's about the same size. Let's go over here and get this. You can also fast forward me. I won't mind. I hope y'all are having a nice summer and aren't too hot wherever you are. I have some friends that... One is in South Africa, and it is their winter. So she's complaining to me about freezing, and I'm telling her that I'm about to burst into flames. Now let's get another one so everybody's not the same. When you have one that's like this profile, it's up to you. Do you want it like this, like this? It really does not matter. It's a pretty picture either way. The only time it would really affect which way would be if there was writing or something was super, you know, it really showed that it had a direction to it. You would want to be very careful, like this one. If I did it the wrong way, my books and my vases would be pouring out their flowers. This is the last ephemera I'll do. I know it's kind of boring, but for new people that are just starting, they may not know everything that we know, so and this one calls for an eyelet. It's got a little eyelet hole. Now you can leave it as is. Nothing wrong with that. You can punch a hole, or you can punch a hole and put an eyelet in it. That's up to you. Put an eyelet, you can put maybe some little ribbon or something in the top. It's gonna go right there. I am loving it in Texas. I was born in Texas, and I have moved everywhere, just about. And now I'm back home, right down the street from my son and my little granddaughter, and our grand dog, whose name is Copper. If you watch my videos, you've heard Copper talk to us several times. This little guy up there. I have big windows in front of me, and he likes to sit in front of the windows. And if the squirrel decides to come out of the trees, he has to tell him he's here. And he is no favor of the UPS man or the Amazon guy. He still thinks, I remember that old joke about the dog biting the postman or the delivery guy, or the trash man, that's what it was, because they're stealing my stuff. I always thought that was cute. Just so you got the idea, I can stop gluing and all that stuff, because all I'm going to do is put these little guys in my little pockets. I just wanted you to see the way I do it. Maybe it's easier for you, maybe you like it, maybe you don't. It's up to you. Now, what we're going to do, what are we going to do? We're going to do the pamphlet stitch, or are we going to do the wraparound. I wish I could hear y'all speaking to me. That's our little template if we want to do the pamphlet stitch. And I don't know if you are tired of the pamphlet stitch, you've never seen it before, blah, blah, blah. I'll tell you what. You let me know after this tutorial. Just contact me and let me know. Show me the pamphlet stitch, and I'll be glad to do it. It takes up more time, and I appreciate the time that you spent with me already. So, we're back to our cracker box. Chicken and a biscuit. And we have to get rid of this fold. Remember, it had a 2.5 inch spine, but I only want a 1.5 inch spine. So I need to make that where it does not want to bend anymore. This is just craft tape. And I'm just going to put a strip here. And it is very sticky. Doesn't matter if you get it perfectly straight, just don't get it on your fold. Likes my mat too. And this is the tape that if you don't peel it up, if it sticks to cardstock. Let's see if one's going to be enough. I do believe so. I'm going to give it another one, just to be on the safe side. Oh, this is going to be covered up. You'll never see it. We really won't end up with a chicken box. I got a wrinkle. We'll smooth that out. Don't worry about it. It's no big deal. There. Now we'll just smush them down. And no one will ever know I put a wrinkle in it. Now, he's nice and stable. He doesn't want to bend. Now we're going to cover this. What we're going to do is, and I should have printed them out before I started, but I will pick some more here. Let's see. Let's do this pretty little guy. And you're going to hear the printer running. And we need 2 of him, and we need 2 more. Sorry about this, guys. It's going to be noisy. Because my printer's right here beside me. What I'll do is I'll wait until it finishes printing, and then I'll come back so you don't have all the noise of the printer and me sitting here doing nothing. So I'll be right back. Alright, let's get our cover so you know how to do it also. Here's my husband's cracker box I stole. Shh, don't tell him. What we're going to, remember we reinforced this spine that was on the box that I didn't want because I only needed 1.5 inches and it was 2.5 inches. We're going to cover this whole thing in glue. And this is just some wrapping paper, postal wrapping paper. It's a good weight, it bends easily, doesn't crack. You want to get your spine, the seam on the spine really good because you want it to adhere to that. And I did, while I was waiting for my battery to charge, I gotta get some new batteries. I went ahead and decorated a little bit more on the journal page, and I'll show you what I did, just to give you some ideas. But there is so much ephemera in this set, you can just have a ball picking out stuff and gluing it down. There's all different sizes. Now I was going to make a part 2, but I'm not going to make a part 2. I'm just going to leave it up to you to stop when you get tired of doing this, and then you can always just restart me. I don't mind. It doesn't hurt at all. Alright, let's turn my stolen cracker box over, and we're going to try to get it in the center of this. And I leave approximately, I cut 1.5 inches bigger all the way around. Which one do I smush it down good so we don't have any wrinkles. Make sure it sticks good, doesn't lift. If it lifts, then we just put some more glue down. Now, what I always do, because I ink my journals, this paper will ink in a different color than this box. So, what I'm going to do, because you're going to be able to see these little spine scores here, because the paper can't go over it or it wouldn't bend very well, because it's heavy cardstock. So we're going to take this little strip, the same kind of paper. I don't know how big it is. Let's see. It is about 2 3/4 by 8. Go here. You don't need it all the way to the edges. We're going to glue it. Just gives it a smoother, continuous color of the inking. And also this tape, if you ever use it, the craft tape, it will not ink the same color either. Got it? Just lay it down right over my spine. I don't know if you can see that on camera. It's right here and right there. I'm just going to cover it up. Give it another squish. Now, we're going to miter our corners, and all we're going to do is we're going to cut at an angle like so. And for newbies, if you're new so you don't fight the paper, let's leave approximately 1/4 inch from the point of where the cover ends and out here. It just makes it a little bit easier. And that's a little bit more than 1/4, so you don't want too much because you don't want that big wad of paper in there because you're going to be folding it. And this does not have to be straight at all. All of it gets covered up. There. Now, we're going to take our sides. It's our cover here, and I'm just going to bend the paper, get it to going over there, and that helps when we press it down. It's already got a memory of where it's supposed to fold. There. Now, I always start here, the top and the bottom, before I do the sides. I just like the way the point ends better, and that you will see some of. I wasn't going to do the cover, but I thought, you know, you guys might like an easy way to do a cover. Going to take it in the center, always start in the center, and push up. And you're pushing pretty hard. What you're going to do is roll your hand over the edge of the cover, and that pushes it up onto, pushes the paper up onto the cracker box that we're not quite sure who stole yet. Just going to push it up. Now we'll do our edges. Now what you're going to do, see this little corner here? It's from this piece that overlaps here. Fingernail, or whatever you want to use, and just go along that line. And it pushes it in, this piece in, just a little bit, and that helps it make a nice square corner. See how nice it lays? See, makes perfect little corner when you do it this way. Same on this side. Just take your fingernail, bone folder, whatever you want to use. That's why my thumbnails are always longer than the rest of my fingernails, because they're my little tweezers and scores. They're well loved. And they do get stained. Now, where is my stylus? Let's use this. On our little score lines, we're going to lift it up, and you can see how that's buckled right there. We're going to take, make sure you stay in the score line. You can push pretty hard because we have so much in here. We got the cardstock, we got the tape, and we got our little piece of paper. Now bend it again. You can see where it is here. Am I doing this? Oh my gosh. No. This line should not be there. No harm done. It didn't go through the other side, so just erase it. I thought that looked odd. Why didn't you yell at me? Go, Linda, that's not the score. That was my old one I wanted to hide. Get it where you can see it. And I'm going to do the other side too. I know it's going to bend okay. So just let me give this a little bit more. Because we want it to really be a good line. If it ever buckles, just press it out. It's going to all be covered up anyway. And there we go. I just kind of gently give them a little bit more of a press over. And there's our journal cover. Now, I'm an inker, so this is where I would ink everything. I'll just show you how I do it so I don't bore you to death and do the whole thing. I like so. And again, I use Vintage Photo. That's what I prefer. Then when and I'm going to do the spine too. Where it was. We made our little scores on it. Then we'll take, I just picked out some pages that I like. We won't be using this half. And that gives you another opportunity. You can cut out these little guys and use them as embellishments. So you just decide what you want as your front. And I think I'm going to pick this because it's got the pretty butterfly on it. First I'm going to cut it down the center. This is 8.5 by 11. So if I put this edge at 5.5, it'll be exactly down the center. And our page, remember, is 5 3/4 and this is 8 3/4. So we have this nice little border all around it. Put it on the correct side. I'll show you what it looks like. And let's say on your cover you wanted it to have some moving parts. Remember how we did our little brads? Let me find my journal. Here it is. Remember how we did these little guys? We just cut out the image, backed it with some more cardstock, put a little hole and put the brad through it. That's what you could do with these pieces also. Make another copy of it, and then you can cut out those pieces. You could make this into a little pocket. You could cut out this, make it a little pocket too. That is totally up to you. You don't have to decide right at this moment. Yeah, we do, if we want to do one of them. So, let's see. I don't think I have another one printed. Let me find this one. Sorry, guys. I'm pretty sure that's it. That's it. Hit print. So we'll go ahead and ink up the edges. And it will lay down just like this. This is our spine, 1.5 inches. So we'll find some paper that we like. You could even use this little strip, I think. I think it's wide enough. You could even cut this out and put it on the spine. But you want to be just less than the 1.5. Let's say we pick this piece of paper, okay? Here's the spine. Let me ink this one so you can see it too. There. We want inside the spine, but not over the fold lines. So 8.5 is what we're working with. So I'm going to line it up real close to that. And then what I do is I take it and I fold my journal. Come on, Linda. There we go. Fold your journal. See, we have a little bit there. That's what we want. We don't want it too close. And a little mark just about there. You can always trim off more if you get it too wide. And it will fit just like that. If that's what you can choose any of the prints. There's 10 different prints, or like I said, you could use this little guy. You could cut out some of these things, put on here. You could put a piece of lace, whatever you would want. But we would just, this would be our front. And our second piece, we'd do just like the journal. Cut out these. We can make them swing. Make a little pocket out of that one. Just make it interesting. It's up to you how you want to decorate your journal. So we just do the same. Put our little spine, glue it down. And then we'll get another side. So I'll cut this one 5.5 inches. So you can kind of see what it looks like. We'd ink it all. And that would be your journal. Repeat on the inside exactly what you did on the outside, except for you wouldn't have to do all this. Okay, that's how you make your cover. Now, if it was covered, and I won't make you watch me gluing, I was going to show you how I do the wrap journal. I get some cotton twine, And you can use baker's twine if you want, as long as it's good twine and you can, you know, it'll take the weight of one of our little pages. So I wrap it around real close to that edge of the spine. This is the front. The back is facing me. And I'm going to have 5 signatures, so I need to go around 5 times. And I am pulling this tight. One. I'm sorry, I'm going to get in the picture. 2. You can move them once you get them all done. 3. 4. Come on, guy. 4. And 5. To loosen it just a little bit. You don't want to buckle, because remember, it's a cereal box. Way too tight. See how that buckled? So let's loosen it up a little bit. Now always tighten it. And this is usually where I go get my husband and tell him I need his finger. Clamp it down on here. Okay. Cut some off, and I've got 5. See? Before we take off our clamps, we're going to take one, and we're going to get a tail under there. Then we're going to take this one, and we're going to tie a half knot, like so. And I tied it upside down. Of course I did. I don't know what I'm doing. There we go. Always on camera you're going, I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay. This is husband's finger time. And this one's going to get real loose on you. You're just going to pull it tight. I like to move it down just a little bit. Y'all don't tell him I stole the cereal box, okay? Because he's right here. Or it's cracker box. There we go. Okay, this is where I would normally just tie these in just a knot. But because I haven't decorated mine, because I just wanted to show y'all how to do it, I'm not going to cut my thread because I'm going to take it off. Then you just want to move these where they're equally spaced on the spine. And remember, it's decorated so it would look like this. And these would be hanging down. And then just move the top also where they're nice and straight. That's what it looks at the inside. You're going to take your signature. You're going to scoot it in between, or underneath, excuse me. Being careful of what we got under there going. And I usually take, hold on, let me find something. And I don't have these tied real tight. I usually take these and just put a piece of paper there so that anything that is on the outside, like this little guy, can't catch on that other twine. Just take it, just slide it right underneath to the center of our signature. And there it is. It'll be all decorated like so. This is the inside. Just what it looked like on the outside. Ink it all around. Ink your paper. Decorate it. Remember, if you want to do the little, put any little brads on, you need to do it on your paper before you glue it down, because you have to put the brad back here. If you glued it down, there would be nowhere to put the brad. It would end up coming through your cardstock. So I embellished a little bit more. I added these little guys, and everything is in the kit except the twine. I put little tabs on my cards. I put some green. It's jute with little green. It's on Amazon. It's fairly inexpensive too. I made this little guy. All it is the cards, and I just stacked them. These are all in the kit. And then also you can, if you want, you could write on the backs of them. Get them all out there. This makes a little cute thing to play with. I went ahead and put the other 2 cards in there. I didn't. We have not decorated the back, but you can do that. What I'm going to do with mine, if I can find my paper. I have so much stuff going on my desk. I know it's somewhere. I just had it. What for Petey's sakes? Ha ha. There's that part. There's that part. Okay, here we go. I found it. This is this. Same picture. I just cut out the bottom. Glue it on. Make sure that it does not hang off any of your edges. Make a little pocket there. You could, print out another one if you want. Sometimes I print out 4 to make 1 page. But you could print out another one and put that little guy on with a real paper clip. You could make a belly band. Just cut it like so. Whatever you want to do, it's up to you. It's your journal. You have fun with it. I hope I was clear enough and you're not completely confused on how I made this. Remember, we just got us a piece of paper, double-sided. We printed it on this side. We folded it. We cut out this. We glued this to this and wrapped it around. That's how we did it. And then we did the same thing on this side. And you need printed on both sides because this piece, the base piece, on both sides, because when you cut out this, this page, if you didn't, let's cut down so. If I glued this down, then you have all this white from the back. But if you made it double-sided, like so, you would have this showing. Just like here and here. So I hope I've been some help to you guys. Just have fun, decorate. I've kind of got the hard part done for you. There is one other way that you can put these together if you're kind of new at this and you're afraid to glue something on top of each other. All you have to do, take your page, just like this page. When you print it out, you get this over here too. You can actually slice it in half like this, glue that down, take this little piece right here, which would be, whooper tin. Take this little piece right here and glue it down on the other side, just like so. And then you wouldn't have to wrap around if you didn't want. If you have any questions whatsoever, just reach out and touch me. I thank you for spending your time with me. Remember, you can pause me, stop me, go back, whatever. Thank you so much. Until next time, stay crafty. Bye-bye.